The Manhattan Project was a World War II research program launched by the United States that produced the first atomic bombs. The project would not officially coalesce until 1941, but the events leading up to this point would create the basis for the development of atomic weaponry. The major breakthrough that made the atomic bomb possible was the discovery of the neutron in 1932 by James Chadwick. Upon this discovery, physicists around the world began bombarding every known element with neutrons, resulting in various reactions. One reaction, however, stuck out from the rest: uranium.
In 1938, German physicist Otto Hahn discovered what was special about this reaction. He discovered fission. This reaction was splitting the uranium atom. It was Leo Szilard, a Hungarian physicist, who expanded on this and theorized the possibility of creating a chain reaction. If this was true, it could mean a nuclear explosion was possible. Realizing the implications of this, Szilard wrote a letter in collaboration with Albert Einstein to President Roosevelt. They warned FDR of the dangers of Germany producing such a bomb and pushed for the beginnings of an atomic program at home. However, skepticism over the likelihood of success kept needed government aid out of reach. As the war advanced and more research came in, the U.S. government became more interested in the program, and in 1941, the Manhattan Project began to form.
Executive Order 8807 was signed by President Roosevelt on June 28, 1941. This order created the Office of Scientific Research and Development, which contained within it the secret S1 Committee. This committee would adopt the name of the Manhattan Project over the course of the next year. It quickly became apparent that the project would require immense amounts of organization in order to build the necessary production plants, laboratories, and manufacturing facilities. Eventually, 30 sites would be built and more than $2 billion spent. Two of the most important sites were Los Alamos in New Mexico and Oak Ridge in Tennessee. It was at sites like these where thousands of civilian workers were employed to work in factories. Since it was extremely important for the Axis powers to not discover their research, the Manhattan Project was kept under extreme secrecy. The project was so secret, in fact, that Vice President Truman was not aware of it until he became president. Almost all of the 130,000 workers for the organization did not realize what they were working on and were not allowed to discuss what they were doing with coworkers in other departments. Those working had little to no contact with friends and families outside the sites. Keeping this project as a secret was an impressive feat that likely could not have been recreated in the modern-day world. This goes to show how much the importance of the project had developed since its conception in 1941.
The work of hundreds and thousands of men and women culminated on July 16, 1941, the very first atomic explosion ever to be initiated on Earth. This was the Trinity test. The bomb, codenamed the Gadget, was taken to Hornado del Muerto Desert in New Mexico, where it was hoisted to the top of a 100-foot-tall steel tower. Humans were about to enter a new and spine-chilling era, the atomic age.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
When the blinding flash faded away, a mushroom cloud 7.5 miles tall became visible. The explosion blasted a crater 1,000 feet wide and was felt as far as 200 miles away. This cued the need for a press release to cover up the explosion. The release stated that the massive fireball in the sky was due to an ammunition magazine containing a considerable amount of high explosives and pyrotechnics. Only a select group of officials would know the true nature of the blast.
On August 6 of 1945, the so-called Little Boy bomb was dropped on Hiroshima. The second bomb, Fat Man, was dropped on Nagasaki 3 days later. This prompted Japan to surrender to the United States, ending World War II. The effects of these bombings were unprecedented, as many as 100,000 Japanese were killed, and many suffered injuries such as burns, wounds, disfiguration, and blood abnormalities. Psychological issues, birth defects, and cancer developed over time. Many of these were caused by the radiation released by the bombs. These effects and capabilities of nuclear weapons horrified a world still raw from discovering the evils of the Holocaust.
On December 31, 1946, the Manhattan Project was officially shut down, but its resources were transferred to the Atomic Energy Commission. Because the United States and the Soviet Union are the only powers not completely destroyed by World War II, they were able to continue the development of nuclear weapons. These two countries would soon enter into the Cold War as they both launched each other into higher atomic weapon standards, including the newly devastating hydrogen bombs. The Manhattan Project had positive effects too, however. Research would be conducted over the ensuing decades into nuclear energy, prompting the development of nuclear power plants, nuclear-powered submarines, and more. Knowledge brought about by the project also brought new developments in the medical industry that would save countless lives. And finally, the push by many scientists against the use of atomic weaponry would eventually lead to legislation that has caused a reduction of nuclear weaponry on a worldwide scale.